somewhat, Chris. After this second goal, they really should have stepped up the pace, and considering they've got a man over as well. I mean, you would have thought that it would have all been about Sporting Mirren, but it's not.
Ball fed through, and wow, that was Awuni in there. Almost got a hat-trick. Sporting Mirren have possession. What can he do? And the ball returned. Anywhere would do for Danbort now. It's going to be a throw into Danbort.
It's amazing. I can't understand it with Sporting Mirren. There's 4 minutes of added time. They've really got to be applying the pressure to Danbort.
Instead, it's a free kick to Danbort. And it's Awuni who's been drawing the fouls. I think he's done very well since they got down to 10 men. He's been taking attention. And Jeffrey in particular has been sticking to him like a leech. And Clifford Asiedu, who's also worked his socks off in this match, is taking a bit of a knock. And we're now in time added on. What is going to happen, or what will happen? That's the big question. And Clifford Asiedu being taken off the pitch. Some recovery, and of course the animation will still go on from Jimmy Cobbler.
Well, he can't keep still now. It's too close for comfort. This will be the great escape if Danbort make it.
Well, Fluted and Sporting Mirren need to get rid of it. Only as far as Akai. But Akpalu couldn't keep the ball in play. Sporting Mirren, they need to attack and do it with purpose. And Alidu Naman pushed down, so it's going to be a free kick.
Well, they're hanging on for dear life.
And the substitution definitely being used to while away the time a bit.
I think that was needed. I think that substitution could have been made much earlier.
William Opoku about to be brought on for Danbort.
Is that your brother?
No. Opoku is a common name, isn't it? And he's been brought on for the injured Clifford Asiedu. And so William Opoku going to do what he also can do to help his side through to the quarterfinals. Or floated in. Headed back, and Rafik Samaila hasn't conceded since he was brought on. And now Sporting Mirren. A ball fed through, but anywhere will do now for Danbort. And the pressure still telling. Joel Arthur. Possession is all very well, but they've got to do something useful with it. Dear me. Not what we all thought or we all expected.
Well, once again, Danbort can breathe a sigh of relief, but still it's not over. They need to reorganise themselves. Can't afford to dance too soon.
Well, certainly has been. It will be a victory that has been won just on a knife edge. Seriously. And that is it. Danbort are the first team to have made it to the quarterfinals of the MTN FA Cup, and they've done it a hard way. A couple of goals for Daniel Awuni and Mohamed Saki made it 3-0 at half-time, but two superbly taken free kicks by Joel Arthur brought Sporting Mirren back into contention. The Odai was sent off, but Danbort have held on. Sporting Mirren out of the competition. Danbort into the quarterfinal. They are with the winners of Ahmed House against Kumasi Sande Kotoko. That match will be shown live on Metro TV, also coming live from the Thames Sports Stadium tomorrow. But at full time from the Thames Sports Stadium is Danbort FC 3, Sporting Mirren 2.
It's ended here at the Tema Park. Exciting end for this particular MTN FA Cup game. The round of 16 game between Danbort FC and then Sporting Mirren. Sporting Mirren left it for the second 45 minutes to show what stuff they are made of. But the point is that it was too little, too late, as they scored 2 goals in the second half. But the 3 goals they conceded, or the 3 goals scored by Danbort in the first half, was all that Danbort needed. We'll be speaking to the 2 coaches. First will be Coach Dauda Lutrot of Sporting Mirren. What really went into this particular game for him? I would want to know. Coach, thanks for joining us. But
thank you.
It seemed to have been a game of 2 halves. You bossed the second half and got 2 goals. Do you look to the first 45 minutes and say the mistakes caused you this game?
Well, yeah, of course, you saw the mistakes made by the goalkeeper. And even I gave instructions that he should be substituted before probably he may concede the 3rd goal. And they delayed, and that caused the 3rd goal. But we came around and we did our best, but it was late because definitely if I took the 3-goal lead, I wouldn't have allowed my opponents to equalize. So I think it's a fair game and we'll work on our mistakes.
What was the basis of your team talk that got your team to play that well in the second half?
Actually, I told them if they don't do anything better, they don't equalize, I'm going to resign my position as coach of the club. Because, you know, I'm a national team coach, and if my team should lose this number, it's a disgrace to me, and people will even question my appointment as a national coach. So I told them, so if they want me to be on the job, then they must do something.
On the basis of the second half performance, are you going to resign as you told them?
I'll go and think about it.
All right, Coach, we thank you for speaking to us. That was the coach of Sporting Mirren, Coach Dauda Lutrot. I'll be speaking to the coach of Danbort FC, Jimmy Kobler. Coach, thanks for joining us. In the end, it was some nervous moments you lived through in the second half.
Yeah, you said it right. I think, you know, Ghanaian footballers, when they go through, they think it is over. Because in the second half, I told them, look, in 45 minutes, we score them 3. They can also score 3. And so they should play close to them, and they allow them to play, and so that was it.
Well, your next game could be against Asante Kotoko or Ahmed House United over here at Tema Park. Do you look to the FA Cup and say it's a realistic chance for you to do what Nani FC did last season?
Of course, I think we will be left with only 8 teams, and all the 8 teams, their main aim is to take the trophy. And so once we are one of the 8 teams, we also like to be there.
Which areas of your team would you be looking to correct, or which department would you want to correct going into the quarterfinal game?
Well, I think talking of areas, we're having problems in most of the areas because in the second half we realized that the thing got into them that they've already won the game, and that was the problem. So for now, I cannot talk about that. But when we get there, we'll talk. And as we play, we are playing a league match, I think, this midweek, and so we'll see. We'll use that to organize ourselves for the next FA game.
All right, Coach Jimmy, thanks for speaking to us. The man of the match of this particular encounter will be taking the 100 Ghana cedis worth of talk time. I will leave the presentation to be done by the match commissioner.
Mr. Junior Entry.
Mr. Entry.
Thank you. How do you call it?
MTN FA Cup.
MTN FA Cup. The best player of the match is number 18 of Danbort.
Well, a few words. You won the man of the match. In the end, you lived through some anxious moments. What would your assessment of the game be?
First of all, I'll thank God for giving me this opportunity. This is my first game here, and I thought to myself that I can do it, and I'm happy for this award.
All right, we'll be looking forward to meeting you in the quarterfinal of the MTN FA Cup. So that is the man of the match for you. We'll be speaking to Nana Ajimai for his final thoughts of this particular encounter. At the end of the first half, we concluded somehow that it was going to be really difficult for Sporting Mirren to come back into this game and qualify to the quarterfinal. In the end, they nearly gave meaning to that slim assertion that they were going to go through. Fine performance by Sporting Mirren in the second 45 minutes.
Absolutely, the 15 minutes that we both looked to. They came and they scored the first goal in the 15 minutes. Unfortunately, there was too big a gap in between that, and they didn't take advantage of the numerical situation as well. Remember, there was a man sent off in the opposition. You would have thought that they would have used that to the advantage. Unable to do that, scored the second goal, fine free kick, no problem, then took their foot off the pedal and allowed Danbort to have more possession of the ball, allowed them to even try and penetrate the 18-yard box, have a couple of shots. You know, they should never have allowed that to happen. Should have always been pegging Danbort back. They failed to do that, and they paid the ultimate price.
Well, I asked Coach Jimmy Coblan which areas of his team he feels should have corrections to, particularly as the potential clash between Asante Kotoko or Ameda stares them in the face for the quarterfinal game, and he said he will look to that over the weekend. But you are here. What would your advice be?
Well, I think he's got to look at the entire team. Because I think they got away with it today. They were lucky to get away with it today. It may not be that case in the next round of the FA Cup. You see, they start off very, very slowly. They fail to get into the groove of the game very quickly, and they allow 15 minutes to drift by, having absorbed so much pressure. And if it's not for luck, they would have been down about 1 or 2 goals, and they've got to change that attitude. They must, from the first blast of the whistle, they must be attacking. I think the link up between the defence, the midfield and the attack is something they've got to work on. The link up has got to be much better. There's too huge a gap between the midfield and the strikers, and when the striker does get the ball, he's isolated. There's no support, and invariably they lose possession. They don't shoot enough, and they've got to increase their shot tally. Shots must also come from the midfield, not just solely depending on the 2 goal scorers there. So I think there's a lot for them to look at, and they really shouldn't leave any stone unturned.
Well, Danbort shouldn't leave any stone unturned as they look forward to maybe springing a surprise in this year's FA Cup. But now we have 7 other games to go for the round of 16. Which teams would you feel would have a fairly good chance of making it to the quarters?
Well, Amidas, I've heard they're a very good side, but Kotoko are on form, aren't they? And they're playing here tomorrow. You would expect, yes, they would give Kotoko a good run for their money, but at the end of the day, there can only be one winner, can't there?
Obviously, and if that happens, we'll be looking forward to seeing Danbort FC and then Asante Kotoko playing at the same venue. That is the Tema Park. But Kotoko would have to take care of Amidas tomorrow at the Tema Park. The kickoff time is 3 o'clock. Game will also be live on Metro TV as we continue the coverage of this year's MTN FA Cup. Will join us tomorrow as we do that game as well. So it's bye-bye from us at the Tema Park. We'll join you later. That will be tomorrow.